What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the Empire State of Mind podcast. Today is an overreaction Monday, and boy, do we have a lot to react to.
Man,
Yesterday's game was really ugly. There's some topics we're gonna bang out and talk about. But before we do that, I just wanted to get Dre's overall summary of Sunday's action. Just how you're feeling on Monday. Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? What are your thoughts right now?
boy, he was pretty terrible yesterday. Brock Purdy, man, had a horrible game yesterday. The guy finished 22 or 38 for 309 yards. Hey, that's good. Over 300 yards passing. Must have been a good game. Well, he had 2 touchdowns. He had 2 picks. He ended with a quarterback rating of 79.8. When you compare that to what Trevor Lawrence ended up with, Trevor Lawrence had a quarterback rating of 92.7. No picks. And he was 21 of 31 for 174. This Jacksonville Jaguars team was literally trying to lose this game. They were trying to give the Niners so many opportunities to win this game, and yet the defense kept shutting them down. The Niners turned the ball over how many times? 4 times? Was it 4 times? 4 fucking times. And not only that, but the curse of Jake Moody returns as they allow the Jaguars to have, an 87-yard return for a touchdown, which at the end of the day, that's why they won the game, was that special teams touchdown. Yeah. If they don't score that touchdown, we actually win this game. Crazy enough as it sounds. But it's just...
Yesterday's game was a combination of like a lot of different things that a lot of people... I'm going to remove this. We'll bring this back on stage in a second. It was a lot of things. It was turnovers, Purdy looking shaky. A lot of people thinking maybe he's not feeling well still.
He's not.
And defense playing like a defense that really, other than Fred Warner, doesn't have a whole lot of guys there. It's just a lot of dudes right now. That's what it feels like. It's Fred Warner and some dudes. And then special teams, we got a new coordinator in the offseason. Remember? We got a new coordinator. Mm-hmm. Still the same. So those are that's like kind of overall summary. Brock Purdy. I want to talk about Brock. Watching the game yesterday, did you think at any point that Brock Purdy looked healthy? Because I didn't think he did. I think Brock Purdy looked like somebody who was playing on one leg, trying to make.
I think he looked healthy his first drive, and I think he looked healthy the drive they scored a touchdown on their last successful possession. But in between those and after, he did not look healthy at all. I thought he couldn't plant his front foot. He kept leaving passes high. He was not accurate. And what's one thing about Brock Purdy? He's an accurate quarterback. Well, yesterday he was not accurate. I mean, he was missing high almost every freaking throw. And on top of that, he was forcing a lot of plays. He was being ultra aggressive and trying to make that big play. And it was costing the Niners turnovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sterling, healthy enough to play. But unfortunately, he was a little healthier than Mac 10 over here, who should have been starting that game, but of course, he was hurt as well. And I think going into Thursday, I know I'm jumping ahead here, but going into Thursday, Mac Jones has to start. Brock Purdy is not 100%, and you could tell he was so inaccurate, Aaron. It was so bad. So bad.
You know, I've been a big Brock Purdy apologist for a while. And I'm not going to jump off the bandwagon yet.
No.
But, he got paid this offseason. He's the guy. He's the man, right? And it's funny. I've told everybody before that I'm a big fan of Nothing But Niners, the YouTube channel. And Mike, one of their main guys who's been there forever. I was watching clips go by on X today before getting ready for the stream. And one of the clips that they uploaded, it was him. It was just, you're expected when you're the starting quarterback to run this offense efficiently. You're expected to play with a certain level of control and run this offense to a T. I mean, you've been here long enough. When we needed him to make throws yesterday, he wasn't able to do it. He was inaccurate, extremely inaccurate. I feel like, I hate to say this, but like when he feels like somebody who doesn't go through his reads quick enough. Like he looks slower than he did before he was when we saw him on and it just looks like somebody who's like the clock's not moving quite quickly enough in his head. He has you watch the broadcast, we're watching from home, and I know you see the checkdowns, I see the checkdowns, and yet the ball, instead of getting a 4-yard pass and a completion to keep the ball moving down the field, he's making the extra difficult pass over the middle, trying to Christian McCaffrey, and it turned into an interception, whether it was tipped or not. Yeah, because if you listen to Richard Sherman, it doesn't really matter. Because one of the picks, I think Sherman said it would have been a pick anyways.
It would have been a pick anyway. And it got tipped by the defensive lineman, but like I thought when it got tipped, he was trying to throw to Christian McCaffrey. No, he was trying to throw to Juwan Jennings. So Devin Lloyd was already like watching him, so it's like he would have intercepted it anyway. If not, he would have broken up the whole play. So either way, it was a bad decision. And he definitely was feeling the pressure from the Jaguars pass rush. I mean, the Niners offensive line blocks as good as like you, me, and Sterling if we were out there. Yep. It's so bad. It's so bad. They can't block a group of like fifth graders, dude. It's so bad. And Trent Williams was getting fucking demolished out there. He looked old. He looked slow. This was a humongous slap in the face to San Francisco. It was hard to watch. And the crazy part about it is that we had a chance to win the game.
Yep.
Son of a bitch. We had a chance to win the game.
I think a lot of his fans, including myself, got kind of lulled into this 3-0 start. And
you think so?
Yes. I personally let my mind go there. I don't think the Niners, like they're winning smoke and mirrors. They're not beating anybody. They're not dominating anybody. Every game has been down to the wire. They haven't really kicked anybody's ass.
No, they haven't kicked anybody's ass.
And all these things that we're seeing, we saw in the first 3 weeks. But they've been playing the Saints, the Cardinals, who aren't really that good. And then, Seattle is still an impressive win, I think. But you look at all those games and all these mistakes and all these problems are all apparent. And this past Sunday was the game where we couldn't get away with it. And I felt like the way we predicted things, maybe, I don't know exactly what your record was for this year, but me and Sterling talked about there would be some games where the 49ers, it's a winnable schedule and they have an ability to get maybe into the playoffs and have a winning season, but there is going to be some struggles this year. And I feel like the 3-0 start kind of, at least for myself, kind of maybe thought, well, maybe he was wrong. Maybe Sterling and I were wrong. Maybe they are going to be a good team this year, a really good team. And I felt like that 3-0 start kind of like took whatever we thought about what the season was going to be, at least early, and maybe thought, oh, maybe that's not going to be the case. They're going to be a lot better. I think the Niners are what we thought they were going to be early in the season when we predicted it in the offseason before we let our emotions and everything kind of get pulled into it with this 3-0 start. That's me. That's how I feel. I'm not saying that's how you feel or Sterling, but that's how I felt.
I said similar things too. I thought they would come out a lot stronger this year. And look, they're 3-0, and if the playoffs started today, they'd be hosting a playoff game, which is crazy. They'd be the number 2 seed. And Sterling, yes, they should do that. Unfortunately, their whack-ass offensive line can't block anybody. Christian McCaffrey's averaging 2.8 yards a run yesterday. That's not going to get it done. That doesn't get it done. That's terrible. That's like the worst. It's disgusting, is what that is. Trevor Etienne was averaging 6.5 a carry. He had 19 rushes for 124 yards. Yeah, he had the 48-yard run, but he was averaging 6.5 a carry. Christian McCaffrey, 2.9.
Look at this offensive line and Pat and the. Look at the Niners' offensive line when it comes to pass blocking. I'll bring this up on here. So the Niners allowed the pressures allowed during yesterday's game. Connor Kobe, 5.
He's not doing good over there.
Trent Williams, 4. Dominic Pooney, 2. Colt McKivitz, 2. Jake Brendel, the guy we all hate most of all, only gave up 1 pressure. 16 pressures allowed. Jacksonville only 5. They can't protect the quarterback. They can't run the ball. I mean, everything that the Niners have been based on since Kyle and John took over, when we've been competitive, say like 2019 onward, the 2 things that we could always bet on is that we were going to have a really good defensive line, regardless of who is on it. And our offensive line was always, at least, maybe not in pass blocking, but in run blocking, would be able to move heaven and earth, and we would have a good running game. Even with guys like Jeff Wilson Jr., Matt Breida, doesn't matter. Heck, Corey Kiner, if he was on the team, we probably, in the past, if it was that offensive line or how we were running the ball back then. But now, I mean, this year, I mean, they can't do anything right.
They can't do anything right. It's so bad. It's so bad.
And Trent Williams, man. I said this early on. I don't know if I said it on live or I've tweeted. I tweet a lot of stuff because I'm a pissy ass person. I think Trent Williams is playing 1 year too many. I think Trent Williams should have retired last year. He looks horrible. He doesn't look.
He looked horrible yesterday. I'll tell you that.
He's unhealthy. He's never healthy, but he's
unhealthy.
He's always unhealthy.
I mean, the problem you have is, like, when you look at rushing offense. Okay, the Jaguars have the number 5 ranked rushing offense, averaging 141.7 yards a game. San Francisco is ranked at 26th with 89.7 a game. That's not going to get it done. And that's the opposite of what's been going on with the Niners offense for year to year. They've always been a running team. They get the job done. They run the ball. It's a Kyle Shanahan offense. He sticks with the run. It's like almost an afterthought. It looks so bad. They can't get any big runs going. And what's crazy is that, you go out and you get Brian Robinson, right? You give him 5 touches. 5 touches. McCaffrey gets 17 carries for 49 yards, averaging 2.9 a carry. Brian Robinson only had 5 carries, but he averaged 4.2 a carry. So it's like, why aren't they using him more often? Why aren't they alternating them like they did against the Seattle Seahawks? That's what I want to know. Why is it solely on Christian McCaffrey to carry this offense? And you could argue, well, they got a lot of injuries. Well, they got to figure it out. If it's a 2-back running system, then that's what they have to do. But the O-line right now looks pitiful. Looks awful. And I thought getting Connor Colby in the starting lineup would be a better thing for San Francisco. It's been worse. And I'm sorry, but Ben Barch isn't like down the down the hall saying, "Hey, I'm ready to come back whenever you guys are ready." No, he's out. He's on IR.
Yep.
So they're fucked. They have to figure it out.
Do you feel that the 49ers and their lack of importance that they put into offensive line and the lack of it being a priority season in and season out is finally, for the first time in a long time, catching up with them?
Absolutely.
I'm talking about I'm talking run blocking, pass blocking.
Yeah, no.
Across the board.
I absolutely agree. When you look at the other teams that they're competing with, right? Teams like the Eagles, teams like what was that team I mentioned? The Eagles and the Lions.
Yep.
What did they do? They invested in offensive line. The Eagles have Lane Johnson, Mielata, all these guys.
And they're still able to afford all their best players too, which is insane.
Insane. The Lions have Penei Sewell and a whole list of great offensive linemen.
Who's a great lineman on the 49ers besides Trent Williams? And you could say that Trent Williams is take him out of the equation. Who is your starting offensive
Nobody.
line?
Fucking nobody.
Kobe,
Everyone's like, Don Pooney. Well, he sucks this year.
Yeah,
granted, I think he's hurt. But still, he sucks.
Oh my God, man.
Colt McKivitz is like, I want to be a Pro Bowler. Yeah, guess what? Why don't you make a fucking block first? They just signed the guy to an extension, which I didn't think was a bad deal. But he hasn't proven himself. The O-line looked like my kids trying to block me from getting a sack. He's just like, go away. You just run right by him. And they looked fucking terrible, dude. It was embarrassing to see how bad our O-line is in not only pass protection, which they've been better at this year, but in the running game, they get no push. They get no hole. Christian McCaffrey hits the wall immediately and goes right down. And you're just like, what was the point of that? Play action, it's like, what? Well, they're not going to run the ball. Were they going to get 3 yards? I'm not going to fall for that. You've seen these teams invest time, invest draft picks, invest money into their offensive line. Look at the fucking Bears. They suck too, but what did they go and do? They went out and signed Drew Dahlman. They went out and made a trade to get Joe Tooney. They brought in guys to try to rebuild that offensive line. The Niners didn't fucking do that. They said, we're going to cut costs. And one way they cut costs is Kyle Shanahan says, okay, well, I don't invest money in these offensive linemen. We develop these guys. These guys suck. They suck.
And if they are rookies, they don't start unless somebody gets injured.
Yeah.
Like Dominic Pooney. Dominic Pooney was a result of an injury.
And sadly enough, I'm like, where's Spencer Burford? Oh, he's hurt too. So he's
hurt too.
He's out. And who do you have left? You have Drew Moss.
Yeah.
And Austin Pleasance.
I mean, just these are like garbage, bottom of the barrel, like one level from being somebody who's going to spackle your wall in your mansion.
Some of these guys could be a fucking practice squad player. Like, I'm sorry, but Connor Colby, practice squad. The way Don Pooney's playing, practice squad. Jake Brendel, free agent. Colt McKivitz, practice squad. It's just, it doesn't get any better. And I thought maybe this year they were going to mature. They were going to develop even more. No, they look worse.
Yeah.
They look like they don't even know each other. They're like, where am I supposed to be at? Don Pooney, there's something wrong with his knee because he's getting no push whatsoever. He's not getting the second level. He's getting blown up in the fucking backfield. Kyle Juszczyk is like running into him like, oh, get out of the way, dude. Like, oh, shit. And nothing happens in the run game. If they can't run the fucking football, they're never going to win a game. Well, I mean, they were 3-0. But still, it's just when you go against better teams, that shit doesn't fly.
I hate to say it and hate to be the guy who's going to say this, but the 49ers 3-0 record, and this is going to sound not cliche, because it's fool's gold. It was fool's gold. I never felt great about it.
But we knew they had an easy schedule. We knew that. So we knew the possibility of being 3-0 was being 4-0.
Were you sitting there on a Monday after every win and being like, I feel really good about this team?
No, I mean,
this is the big boys.
This is like a developmental team at this point. But the problem is that when you still had Bosa, you had the bookends. You had Bosa and Huff, and then you had everybody else in the middle who either is your Kalia Davis, Jordan Elliott, or is your CJ West, Alfred Collins, Michael Williams. Ton of talent and developing.
Half the teams in the National Football League.
Who?
Would either of those defensive tackles either start?
I don't know.
Really, I mean, you look at the Niners defense. They're like half of the. I mean, like other than Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and Demo. Would any of these guys start on half the teams in the NFL? Like,
well, I mean, D. Winters would, Fred Warner would.
Okay, so
Upton Stout would. Upton Stout's really good.
I just think there's a talent. Deficit on the 49ers across the board, especially on defense.
You know, Michael Williams would be starting. He's really good, but those guys were able to shine with guys like Bosa But now Bosa's gone.
Yeah, but we talked about how thin they were this year. We talked about it in preseason. We said it ad nauseum. If they suffer any injuries to any of their big stars, they're screwed. And it's exactly what's happening. Bosa puts a Band-Aid and just how average this defense is. They're average across the board, even with the rookies, whether they're starting or not. They're just not good.
Well, no, hold on. Okay, look, they limited Jacksonville. The Niners turned the ball over 4 fucking times. And Jacksonville scored 26 points. They scored 17 in the second quarter. In the third, they scored 9. But in the first and in the fourth, they scored 0. So I still think this defense is good. This defense was making clutch plays. This defense was keeping the Niners in the game. There's a lot of things that went wrong in this game. The defense, I don't think, was one of them.
If you look at the bottom of the list on the thing the graphic I have up, 4 turnovers to 0, and the other one, is it on here? Oh, they don't have special teams yards.
Yeah. Howdy, exactly. The Niners D was the reason why there was any hope against the Jags.
Total
but when your offense has 4 fucking turnovers, I mean, I'd have to look it up, but like, I wonder how many minutes the defense was on the fucking field, because they were just getting rocked. It was terrible, dude. Like, they were on the field for like more than half the game. But look, Aaron, I've been saying it's been due that Kyle has yet to be in his bag. I thought he is the offensive genius. I'll say this, throwback. I thought Kyle Shanahan has done a great job so far as the head coach. Yesterday, he fucking sucked. He sucked. Purdy sucked. Offensive line sucked. The receivers sucked.
Had 6 drops in this game, guys.
Receivers sucked.
6.
Kendrick Bourne had fucking 3 of them.
Yeah, can we stop with him now, please? Can we get over this trash, this Kendrick Bourne feel-good moment garbage that everybody's feeling?
I still like Kendrick Bourne, but still, he's got to catch the fucking ball.
Good.
He's got to catch the ball.
He wasn't just.
And why is it that you have a guy in DeMarcus Robinson who fucking kills it in the preseason, kills it in camp, he's out for 3 weeks, and then you don't give him the fucking ball until the very end. You're like, oh shit, hey, I forgot we had him.
And the ball Purdy does throw to him is almost a hospital ball, because Purdy was sailing everything left and right yesterday.
If he hits him in the numbers, that's a first down. Instead, he sailed it. It was like, what are you doing? Purdy had a lot of bad throws. Purdy was not healthy. He was not healthy. And
whose fault? Whose fault is that? Is that Purdy's fault, or is that Kyle Shanahan's fault, or is it that the 49ers don't have a healthy quarterback and it was the least of the worst? Where are you on that one? Is it Kyle?
I feel like,
hey, you're the less injured of the two, so you're gonna play. Was it Brock not being truthful? Is it a combination of everything? I don't know.
I think it's more of like, Mac Jones was hurt. He's already very limited in his mobility. And I think an injury to his knee, that was the last thing they wanted, was to have a guy with a bum knee who's not very mobile to be standing back there with this defensive pass rush that is getting a ton of sacks a game. They're probably like, this is a recipe for fucking disaster. Brock, how are you feeling? You feeling pretty good? Well, Brock's a little more mobile. Let's throw Brock out there. I think Mac Jones needs to play Thursday night. If you play Brock Purdy, you're going to fucking lose. You're going to lose. And I like Brock Purdy, but the way he looked, unless he's right, he's going to have another game like that. Because here's the difference between him and some of the quarterbacks that we talk about. Like him and like a Joe Burrow, him and a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or, these guys. Even though those guys are hurt, they have the built-in talent. They have the built-in arm strength, the athleticism, the height, the size. Brock doesn't have that. So when he's hurt, then all of his other skills kind of diminish because he's not 100%. And we saw that. He looked like a fish out of water. And look, I'll give him this. In the 2 games that Brock Purdy has played this season, he's gone against the Seattle defense and the Jacksonville defense. Both of which, if I can find it here, both of which is
As you're
the
talking, I'm
Seahawks.
looking for any updates on injuries and stuff.
The Seahawks have the number 11 defense, but they've been really good this year. And the Jaguars have, well, it's the 10th best defense, but this is according to Fox Sports. I think they're better than that. But he's gone against two really good defenses, and he's thrown 2 picks in both those games. So, again, it's, it'd be one thing if he came back to play against, like, the Saints, or he came back to play against the Cardinals. A little different. Going against the Jaguars?
But he's your guy. He has to be able to play through things. He has to be able to, we talk about the defense he went up against and how highly ranked they are. So what? When you have a franchise quarterback, he has to be able to come through.
Yeah, but let's face it though, Aaron, he's not that kind of quarterback. I love Brock Purdy, but he's not. I mean, he did throw for over 300 yards. He kind of had to. He threw the ball 38 times.
Well, then, that's on the 49ers then. You pay a guy, you expect him to somehow, at least a little bit, be able to make up for deficiencies in your offense. Well, now I'll say this.
Go ahead.
The 49ers offense is predicated on running the ball and running it efficiently. When they can't run the ball, they're not a drop back pass team. They're not a team that can drop back pass 40 times a game. It's been proven. The more the 49ers throw the ball and not run the ball, they always seem to lose. When they have that balance, when they have the ability to eat clock, the rest of their defense, because especially with the type of defense they have, they're all gas, no break, blah, 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 all that stuff. The Niners are the epitome when they're running well of complementary football. And when any of those sides don't play complementary football, it affects everything. The Niners' run game protects the quarterback, and in turn, the play action game is open. Guys are more open. Not only are guys not catching the ball, but there's no space. Every single throw that Purdy was making yesterday, there was guys around it. They were playing zone, the Jaguars. I was listening to the whole broadcast about how they played tight zone, and they challenge you to make tight window throws, which is something I thought Brock Purdy in the past has done really well. But he was sailing them. And the 49ers just look like a team. And then you have the 6 drops, the Kendrick Bourne thing. God, can Brandon Ayuk and the rest of these guys get healthy so he can leave this team? Like, what is the purpose of Kendrick Bourne? What is the purpose of NBS? I don't care about any of those guys.
I mean, the pass that Purdy threw to Bourne, in which he was wide open down the middle, and he fucking dropped. It was his hands, dropped it. And that was a killer. It was like, you can see it in Brock's face. He was like, God damn it, dude. That was a first down. It couldn't have even been a touchdown or a huge play to get them into the red zone. He drops the pass.
I'm banging on Brock a lot, but it was a team loss too. Like, guys were dropping passes. The offensive line was playing horrible. They can't run the ball. It wasn't all on Brock. But when you pay a quarterback what they pay him, making over $50 million a year, there is certain expectations for you to be able to, when other pieces aren't working, be able to carry them.
Here, let me.
And as much as I've been protecting Brock and always being an apologist, I'm not like the Cone clique. I'm not going to sit there and say that Trey Lance was the guy and you should have kept him. No. I could understand the argument, and maybe I'm slow to come around to it, that, they are paying him to be the franchise guy, and maybe in ways he's showing us that when it comes to a franchise guy, he has limitations. And now we're starting to see those limitations when he's asked to do more than he's physically able to do, based on 1, injury, and 2, just his deficits of talent that he has, being that he was Mr. Irrelevant and he's got a squeak arm and he's not a super big guy. Like, all those things are kind of coming to the forefront right now. What did you want to put up on screen?
So this is the play right here. I won't play the whole thing because I don't want you to get hit, but I'm just going to jump through it. Here's the problem is that when he dropped this ball, let me see. Did you pull it up?
Nope. I'm going to put it up right now.
When he drops this ball, right? There's 2:41 left in the game, 20-14. He catches that ball. He likely scampers at least to the 40-yard line, unless this guy gets through to tackle him, and he's probably the one who's going to run him down. But that's a big play right there. And not only that, but like, look at that. He would have been out to here. You know what I mean? Clear path to get a big chunk yardage.
Yeah.
20-14. That's 3rd and 9, Aaron. On that's 3rd and 9.
That's another thing yesterday. They were behind in the sticks a lot.
But 3rd and 9, that would have been a huge play. And he dropped it. And not only that, but Purdy was sailing passes. Purdy's another Jimmy G type. Whatever. I think, to be honest, I think Mac Jones is another Jimmy G type. Difference is Mac Jones has got a better deep ball than Jimmy G. But like That's Jimmy true. G, Mac Jones can't run. He's not mobile. He stands there.
I think that Purdy is better than Jimmy G. And I think I think Purdy has proven in the past that he can operate on a higher level than what he's been operating on. I feel like it's a combination of rust, injury, lack of playing with certain guys, feeling the pressure of your backup playing well. I feel like that's all in the equation. But at the end of the day, like Mike from Nothing But Niners says, you're getting paid to do this. This is what you're getting paid the big money for. You have to be the guy. You have to come through. There are no excuses. I'm not a basher of Brock because I believe in Brock, but come on, man. Like yesterday's game was so winnable. You got to be better in the pocket. You got to have better pocket awareness. You got to know that guys, there's arms and legs are going to be around.
Yeah, but you know what, though? That strip sack, I don't blame it on Brock. I don't, because the offensive line was crumbling around him. Whenever there's a strip sack, unless he runs towards that defender, to me, who was blocking Eric Armstead when he made that strip sack? None other than fucking Jake Brendel.
Oh, our favorite best friend.
He gave up that fucking strip sack, and what was he doing after the strip sack? He's standing there watching. That's what he does. Jake Brendel's fucking terrible. Dominic Pooney.
If Trent Williams at 37 is your best offensive lineman, and he's playing like absolute dog water, that's bad. That's bad. That's really bad. And that's where they're at. And there's no in-season fix, Dre. This isn't like going to get an edge rusher because you're down Nick Bosa. You can't go and switch your whole offensive line out after 4 weeks. This is who they have. This is who's they have, as they would say, this is who they're bringing to the party every single week. They got to coach better. They got to be better. This was a team-wide loss because every single part of the team touched this loss yesterday. Brock played like trash. The defense couldn't get any stops in the run game.
Well, okay. Still, the defense did get stops late in the game. But the Jaguars' offense was helping them out.
Early in the game, they were getting gouged in the run game.
Oh, gouged.
Push. The quarterback has no pressure. He's all day to throw. I mean, there was points in the game where he was standing, he could have made a sandwich, sat down, took a nap, stood back up and threw the pass. It was bad. There's nobody there.
Let me ask you, what'd you think about that the interaction between Bob Saleh and Liam Cohen at the end of the game?
I think Liam Cohen is a complete bitch because if you notice, he said it when there was a bunch of guys around him.
Oh, of course.
Like, if he really wanted that smoke, Bobby Saleh would have smoked him. Okay?
Well, he would have smoked him easily, but he didn't do that. And in fact, I would say this. He said it because, one, they came off a win on the road.
Yep.
And he was trying to pump up his... Look at when he was saying his players were like, yeah, that's how you rally your team. So he's like, fuck, I'm going to go talk shit. Because he knew that Saleh was never going to get to him anyway. But look, I will say this about Liam Cohen. After the game, in the press conference, they immediately asked him about it. He said, he immediately shut it down. He's like, yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. No, not talking about it. Well, what did you guys say? That's none of your guys' business. No, I'm not going there.
Who was he until yesterday's game? Who was he? Like
nobody.
Said, the only reason Mr. Duval said that was because they won.
That's right. If they lost, who knows he wouldn't have said shit. But he did shut it down afterwards, which I liked. I was afraid he'd be like, well, I had to represent, or I had to say, no, I'm not going to talk about that, which is good. which is good. But here's a bit of good news, okay? Something we have to look forward to. Not necessarily this X account, which I know you're not a huge fan of, but let me pull this up.
Oh God!
At least this is some good news.
An X account that I'm not a huge fan of.
Okay.
Who 24/7?
Yeah.
I've gotten a little bit more patient with 24/7, but during the off season, he was driving me insane.
Insane.
But go ahead.
Week 6. I wish it was this Thursday, but week 6, George Kittle comes back. Week 7, Malik Mustafa back.
Maybe.
Week 8, trade for a superstar edge. I don't know about that. Come on.
Are they even going to have a good enough record to make sense of a trade like that?
I don't know. Week 9, Brandon Ayuk comes back. But when you look at these weeks, right?
Where's he getting these dates from?
He's just making this shit up.
Are you serious?
People were saying week 10. I said week 10.
Oh my
Brandon
God.
Ayuk comes back because week 10 is a home game. Week 9, you're in New York.
I know it's a 49er page and he's a homer for himself, but come on, dude.
I do agree with 6 and 7 though. George Kittle and I think Mustafa could possibly come back.
I agree with the edge trade, but only if they have a winning record. If they got a losing record going into midseason or the trade deadline, you're not trading for an edge. Screw that. That's why it was important. I hate to say it, but yesterday's loss it sucked because like if they can smoke and mirrors this thing up until the trade deadline and then bring in an edge player, that would be fantastic.
What do you think about this? This news, if you want to pull it up. Ricky Pearsall may have a minor PCL injury. He may not even play Thursday night.
What did I tell you about this? We might as well talk about injuries. What did I tell you guys about this? You can keep telling me that injuries are just a thing and that it's because it's a physical game. That's why they get injured.
I mean, Malik Neighbors tore his ACL.
But that's like a one-off thing.
So is Nick Bosa.
Every single year.
But look.
Every game they lose 2 guys.
Not only that, game. He got hurt. Juwan Jennings got hurt. Smashed in the side of the
hospital ball from Brock. Way to go, Mr. BP.
Dude, he laid that out there for Jennings to get fucking whacked. Jennings made the catch. He balled out for that play. But now he's hurt. And it's like, shit, bro. Now you're out.
Burrow, Lamar, Jordan Love, and Stroud have all had worse games this year than Purdy's game this year, and they're supposed to be better than him.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Purdy had a chance to win that game. And with a little bit more accuracy, they would have won that game. But Brock could not hit receivers in the numbers.
Yeah, but the drive that killed the end of the game was the strip sack. That's on Brock.
And not only that,
turnovers.
You got this too, courtesy of Raj from RSF Niners. Brock Purdy was complaining
of course.
Some real soreness was his foot this morning. So he called Kyle Shanahan this morning. He was on Kyle's presser. And he said basically, he woke up this morning. He said that his toe was really, really sore. And he's dealing with a lot of pain. No fucking shit. Here's my thing. If Brock Purdy, because he started, that tells me how bad Mac Jones's knee really was. Because if Mac Jones was like, dude, my knee feels fine, they would have went with Mac.
I'm starting to think the same thing.
And I think they didn't because they were like, well, he's not going to be very mobile. This is a really good pass rushing team. I bet you Brock is actually going to be more mobile than he is right now. Let's go with Brock.
Brock can still move. That's the one thing about Brock that excites me about him is the play isn't always quite over. He has the ability to get out of the pocket. I mean, Mac Jones is your prototypical 1980s statue quarterback who just stands back there and throws the ball, darts all over the field. Purdy's a little bit more of the modern age, but without any of the physical traits, which is a quarterback that can scramble and move and extend plays. If Brock Purdy was 6'4" with a cannon arm, we'd be talking about Josh Allen, but he's not.
He's not. And then there was this bit of news too. The Niners-Bucks game got flexed out to 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time, 1:25 Pacific.
4 more hours of 4 more hours of rest.
Of toe recovery time.
For toe recovery time. Dude, unbelievable. What a joke.
Why did that happen? I think they flexed it out because they thought this is going to be a better matchup than whatever else they had going on. I don't know. Interesting though. I don't remember the last time I've seen a 10 a.m. game get flexed out to 1 o'clock Pacific time. I mean, I've seen the Sunday night game get flexed.
Tampa's East Coast.
Right, but I've seen like the other where it's like they get flexed to a Sunday night game. My only thought is that there was a game at 1 o'clock that got flexed to Sunday night, and then they got moved up.
You know what's sad? My guy Raj, I feel like all he ever, because Raj is, he's a 49er guy. He's a content creator. It seems like every post I ever see of Raj is injuries, just injuries constantly. I feel for him because it's like, if there isn't, I couldn't find one more diehard 49er fan who's got a great page, Instagram, social media, all that stuff. Man, it's like every single one update, and it's always injuries. Man, so Purasol, from the last time I checked, there was no timetable whether he'd play on Thursday.
I don't think he will.
Same thing. Brock.
I don't think he will either.
Same thing.
No. I mean,
if you're a 49er fan, are you just accepting the fact that they're going to get run out of the building and just, go into that 10-day layoff and come back with some help? I mean, this is ridiculous though. Oh my God. It's week 4 and we're already talking about we need rest. Come on.
Where's the bye week at? Oh, it's not until like fucking week 12 or 14.
Like everybody, this is just ridiculous. Keep denying that the injury situation. I love how people use what's going on in the NFL this year and be like, "Well, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Everybody's hurt."
Well,
really?
Well, let me ask you:
are they in the top 10 or the top 5 every single year besides 2023 and the most injuries in the NFL on their roster? No. So stop with the comparison.
Okay, let me ask you this: going into Thursday's game, do you think this is going to be a loss or is it going to be a win?
I think the Niners are going to get boat raced on Thursday. I honestly do. And if they don't and they win somehow, I want all of the smoke. I will welcome the smoke. So if you know where I am on social media and you want to say, shut your stupid mouth, you red bearded weirdo, you can do that. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think, I'd have to agree. I think we're going to lose. And, I mean, if we had to do like an early score prediction, because, cover 3 will be this week. Cover 3 is going to be after the game.
So cover 3 is going to be on Friday. So we're going to be doing a follow-up. We're going to get a day to sit on our depression.
A day of rest.
Yeah.
And then
mentally.
To be honest, I think the final score on Thursday night, 31-13.
I was thinking
Rams.
the same thing. 31-13. I think the Rams go up like 24-3 in the
and
third
this is the
quarter,
first time where like I'm actually hoping that Mac Jones starts this game because I don't have any faith in Brock Purdy right now based on his health. He looked awful on Sunday. So bad.
How much is his health though? Maybe that's just who he is. Maybe he's starting to become who.
Let's talk about that. Is the enigma that is Brock Purdy, is that starting to fade now? Is it just like he was so good because our team was stacked? We had a killer defense. Is the veil sort of falling?
Like the bloom off the rose, so to speak.
Yeah. Is
maybe
like the Wizard of Oz, like you look behind the curtain and there's this little guy back there. Is that what we're dealing with here? Yeah, where Brock Purdy is actually becoming the quarterback that he really is.
I don't think he's as bad as he has shown in week 1 and week 4. I think he's somewhere in the middle because I'll bring up Mike from Nothing But Niners. He said there are times where he makes throws and does things and you can see the talent and you can see his ability, but it's just not consistent. He's just not consistent. He says all the right things. He takes all the credit for the failure. And that's great and everything. But I get to a point, I don't know about you, because I've been a fan going on, 36 years. I don't want to hear that you know what it is that you need to fix, but you continue not to fix it. It's like last year when the Niners are getting their ass kicked and Fred Warner would go up there and talk about what the Niners need to do. and they just need to do this and they need to figure out this, but they never did it. I'm starting to get the same vibes this year. They know all the things to say at the press conference, but then they go out on Sunday and they do the complete opposite. So Kyle looked really dejected after yesterday's loss. I think the injuries, bro, and the bad quarterback play, and just like the thought of, we talked about the defense being young in the offseason, and even the coaches and John and everybody was like, hey, it's going to be a ride. It's going to be a ride, right? I don't think they realized exactly what kind of ride it was going to be, knowing they were going to lose Nick Bosa after 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
This is going from a ride to like one of those like Superman death drop roller coasters where they just drop you straight down. Like there's no rounded corner or a slow downhill incline. It's straight. They're going straight down, and they're going to have to figure out a way, because like the famous saying about Larry Bird isn't walking through that door. The old the Celtics coach, I forget, Rick Pitino soundbite. Charles Haley and Ronnie Lott and Joe Montana are walking through that door. They got to make do with what they got, and they got to figure out a way to do it. Nobody's feeling sorry for them, especially with injuries.
Okay, well, this is a stat that's got me worried when it comes to Brock Purdy.
So does this. Jared Verse for Spoonie McKivitz. I don't.
That's Jared Verse going against me and Aaron.
Aaron at 45 with a bad knee.
Yeah, dude. To me, that sounds like a healthy old lineman on the Niners squad. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But check this out. Let me ask you.
I weigh about as much as one of them does now.
Right. So let me run this stat by you and let me know what you think. Brock Purdy has 16 interceptions in his last 17 starts. That's not good.
No.
I mean, he's averaging an interception per game, basically, in his last 17 starts.
And he's not.
What happened to the guy? But what happened to the guy that was being praised for not turning the ball over? Remember the year we went to the Super Bowl? They were like, dude, no turnovers, no turnovers, no turnovers. That's almost being erased single-handedly by himself. What do you think is the problem? Why is he turning the ball over so much?
It's a combination. Bad run game. Teams don't fear them in the run game. They're daring them to beat them. Injuries, bad offensive line play, and Brock just not being all that. He hasn't been all that great. I think it's a combination of a handful of things, Dre. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to hear those excuses. They just want production. And he hasn't given that production. You can't have games like the Seattle game where you throw, a really nice touchdown and you have a great opening drive, and then you're forcing picks. You don't have the kind of arm or athletic ability to make those plays. You have to be smarter with the football. One thing I'll say about Mac Jones, he is slower than molasses in the pocket, and it takes him a while to read his reads, but he's really careful with the football. Almost to a degree of like, he's like whether you want to call him a check down merchant. I would love for Purdy to be a check down merchant right now and go with the easy stuff.
I think the problem is that like the idea of checkdowns has now gotten to his head. Yeah. Because he's like, I'm not a checkdown quarterback. I'm not a checkdown quarterback. And he tries to make these hero ball throws that end up turning the ball over. Yeah. The throw to, okay, let's recount all these, okay? The interception that he threw trying to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey.
Bad throw. He sailed it.
Bad throw. He had to layer that throw right in the spot around 3 defenders. If that's George Kittle, that's easier to make a catch. He's a bigger, taller receiver. McCaffrey's a much shorter receiver. He was on his tippy toes, and he couldn't make that catch.
Exactly.
But not only that, but he had a wide open receiver, and Jake Tonjes, tight end, was wide open in the middle, and he had McCaffrey as a check down wide open in front of him. Instead, he went for the harder pass because he was trying to make something happen. Taking a risk, turn the ball over.
You don't want him to play scared, right?
Right.
But at the same time, like, if you can't be killing drives, take the 4 yards, bro.
And then the second one, what's his name? What was the linebacker's name? He was killing the whole game. Devin Lloyd. He was going to intercept that ball regardless. The tip ball just made it easier. He's like, oh, cool. But that pass right there, I don't think he ever saw Devin Lloyd lurking in the middle of the field. I don't think he ever saw him. Because if he did, he would have threw the ball to Christian McCaffrey, who was open as a check down. And that was 2 interceptions.
It's funny how we can see it on television. We can see we see the check down, the run right in front of our screen. I mean, all you have to do is just throw the check down. Throw the check down.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to make the more difficult throw, being a shorter quarterback with the less below average arm. I don't get the thinking. Bob, simply put, says that Purdy fell off after the Super Bowl. He's failed 6 game-ending turnovers since then. It's a fair criticism.
Well, look,
I'm not saying they're going to just throw him away and be like, well, that's it. This is who they're stuck with. They're going to have to find a way to make it work.
But I think that you had to. They signed him that contract.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to, though. I think they should have let him play on his last year. And I think they would have got a better deal for him after this season.
That would never have happened. His agent wouldn't have allowed it.
Probably not.
They were forced to. That's just how it works in the NFL, bro. Like that's the running rate, even for an average quarterback who looks really great when he has a huge, really good supporting cast. I mean, his supporting. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in this. The supporting cast has been a revolving door since last season.
Yeah.
They have MVS, Sky Moore, Jake Tongas. I mean, some of the guys that are in the game on a down in, down out basis. Like, are you serious? I mean, there was a point in time where we had Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, McCaffrey, all these guys making plays.
Yeah. Now who do we have?
And now we have Sky Moore.
Well, we have Pearsall,
who, I mean,
Jennings looks more like a fucking tight end out there.
Yeah, but like those guys all work if Kittle's in there. Kittle makes everything just so much easier.
Yeah.
They're so
blocking.
Their offense is so constricted right now. There's no room for anything.
Yeah.
If they had a successful run game, Purdy would have the middle of the field open. The Jags were sitting on yesterday, bro. They were sitting on everything.
So check this out. This is a little clip I wanted to play. This is for my boy Johnny Dell. He does a quick little clip about
Johnny Dell's really good, by the way.
About one of Purdy's plays. Check this out. Oh, I got to turn the volume on.
To the imagination, and he was. So Brock Purdy didn't play his best game by any stretch of the imagination, and he was sailing throws. There's no doubt about that. We're also having a hard time creating some space here. This is going to be third down. We're going to bring a couple guys in motion. You're going to see the corner widen, the safety widen a little bit. This safety is going to have a straight drop back. That's a quarters drop back, so they're doing a palms coverage on this side. We're running Jake Tonges on a pull basic, so he's going to be at a 10 to 12 yard in route that can sit down over the middle. You're going to have Christian McCaffrey's going to come and sit down here. They're trying to create a horizontal stretch, but look at these safeties. They're barely retreating. Nobody's worried about a vertical threat deep down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
They're matching Ricky Pearsall on the out, and these two underneath guys are just going to squat and sit on Christian McCaffrey. You can't throw it short. They're sitting at the first down marker, and your only spot is Jake Tonges here over the middle, and it's a little there, but again, this is not great spacing. You're trying to ask your quarterback to do a layered throw over this guy 5 yards deep. I mean, these are not deep throws where you can really layer these in. I mean, if we were to give Purdy the benefit of the doubt, we were going to say that he's expecting Jake Tonges to run this more as a post, but I don't think so. I think he just lets this one get away from him as he's trying to, with a bad toe, hit these layered throws over the middle, and they were just sailing on him. There's just not a lot of space being created here as an offense. You don't have a lot of, separation here. The dispersion is not great. We're not getting a lot of depth on things, and plays just look like this. This is a good pocket. It's perfectly fine. Brock should be able to make this throw, but it's sailing, and you have these underneath defenders squatting and just eyeing Christian McCaffrey. There's just an issue of we're not creating space as an offense. You can see Brock's going to try and layer this over the underneath defender as both of these guys eyes on Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to try and hit the intermediate. That's what's there, and you're sailing it over,
awful.
trying not to put the ball in harm's way, but then you don't get the completion. And so, just a really ugly day for the offense, and number of missed opportunities, and they're just struggling creating space.
Man.
That's tough to watch because that's a throw we've seen Brock make in the past.
Yep.
But again, I don't think he's healthy. I think he was healthier than Mac Jones.
That's
had to
not
be.
saying, which isn't saying much.
But he had to be, right?
Right.
I can't imagine he's like, yeah, I feel good. And they're like, well, he's our quarterback number 1, so we got to go with him. No, I feel like they would have been like, no, he's fine. Mac is fine. Let's go with him one more week, and we'll bring you back Thursday night.
I just, my feelings for this team right now, if I'm honest, is all over the place. My emotions. I'm so disenfranchised with just all the injuries. It's hard to get excited. Like I said to you and Sterling on Thursday when I had my little rant, it's really hard to get emotionally invested on a weekend and week out basis and get excited for certain players if you don't know from play to play who's dropping and who's out for another 4, 5, 6 weeks. It's happening now. It's such a clip with this team that it's not even funny anymore. Like I tweeted today, it's getting to the point now where I don't even have to make my point that I've been trying to make since last year and really this year about in preseason with all the injuries, and everyone's like, oh, you're so overreacting. I'm like, no, I'm really not. And now in the regular season, no one's really challenging me. And the point I was making was not that I wanted to be right. It's that it's an issue. Yeah. And it's getting to the point now where it's just, why even talk about it? It's going to happen. Like they can't get through a game without losing 2 players a game. It happens every single freaking game. There's not a game that's gone by this year where they haven't had at least 1 to 2 people leave the game and not come back, and then they're out for an extended period. It's not even funny anymore. Yeah, I'm at the point, and then Brock's not playing well. Kyle's coaching is suspect. The defense is going through their growing pains, and they don't got a pacifier in Nick Bosa. They're out there by themselves. And they're expected, a lot of these rookies that we got, man, are expected to play some serious reps this year. And they don't have their pacifier anymore in Bosa to protect them.
Yeah.
It's the Warner Demo winners show. That's it. Who else? Name me one person on that defense that's a legit athletic freak playmaker that on third down can come up with a big play. Fred has the ability to force balls. Get him in, he can intercept balls. You can force fumbles. Demo's pretty much a shutdown corner. D Winters is an ascending player. Other than that, Year Matos, oh, wow, he scares me. I love our rookie and what's his name? Michael Williams. But Michael Williams, we knew coming in that he wasn't a pass rusher. He was an edge setter. He's not meant to be an every down pass rusher in this league. It's not his skill set.
Going into Thursday's game, okay, when you look at this past game, we lost 26-21, same score that we beat the Saints by, which is kind of weird. You look at passing first downs. Jaguars had 8, Niners had 17.
So weird.
Third down efficiency. The Jags were 4 of 14. So you could say that the Niners defense played good, especially in the second half.
And Niners
really turned it on.
They did enough in the second half, Trey, to win the game for us.
Third down efficiency for the Niners, 8 of 13. That's not bad.
That's not bad either.
That's not terrible, but that's not bad.
If you take that in a microcosm, we look like the victorious team. And then you go down the game stats and you see, almost 200 yards receiving in kick receiving or returning yards. We haven't even really touched on how bad special teams is.
We haven't. But I mean, look, total drives 11-11. Total yards, Jags 325, Niners 389. Total plays 63-63. What was the biggest difference?
Turnovers.
Special teams.
And special teams. The two things that we've been complaining about since the beginning of the season.
You can't turn the ball over 4 times. And they all can't be as a result of Brock Purdy. They can't.
This guy just say, yo, Max Crosby. You wish.
I mean, look, one of them was Luke Farrell getting the ball knocked out of his hands.
That was such a man.
I was like, come on, bro. You knew that was coming. I don't know. He didn't have his left hand because he was fighting off the other guy, so he was trying to hold it with one hand.
I don't know about you.
That
sucked.
I
would carry, if I'm a slow white tight end who doesn't move very well, I'm literally two-handing that thing and just falling down.
I don't think he could. I'm pretty sure his other hand was tied up with the guy who was defending him. Crazy. Now, look, when you look at those numbers, you would argue that, like, hey, look, if we had those numbers against the Rams, we could win that game.
Yeah.
You just can't have 4 turnovers.
You got to take the turnovers out of the equation, and you got to be able to play the field. What's the word I'm looking for? Field position game? Is that what I'm trying to say? Like the field position game, they have to figure out a way to not. I mean, their kick return defense is so bad.
I mean, penalties. The Jags were 12 penalties for 90 yards. Niners were 5 for 54 yards.
The Upton Stout interception penalty was
bullshit.
Trash.
Absolute bullshit.
Legit, great pass coverage interception. I feel bad for the kid. He's had a couple of plays this year where he's gotten flagged on stuff that he shouldn't. So Upton Stout, I'm starting to have a little bit more leeway in my heart for him. I was a little hard on him really in the first game of the season, but man, nobody's coming to rescue this team, bro. They have to do it all by themselves.
When the offense is struggling the way they are, you cannot have special teams coming out there and taking a shit on the field.
That
exactly return was
steamy.
That was like when they ran it back for a touchdown. I was like, "Holy fuck!"
It wasn't
you
touched.
Kidding me, dude. Wasn't touched. Now there was, I want to say there was 2 blocks in the back that they fucking missed.
Yeah.
Even Shanahan today on his media presser, he said, "Yeah, there was at least one, if not 2, that they missed. They should have been called back. It really should have." I saw it on the replay. I was like, "Holy shit!" But they didn't. Giving up that touchdown at the end of the day, that cost us the game. Not the 4 turnovers. I mean, that did as well, but the kick return ultimately did them in because that's the last score that they could not overcome.
Nope.
Now, another fuck up, if you ask me, 4th and 2, and they go for it. I would have taken the points.
Me too.
He goes for it. Purdy sails it. Again. And he had DeMarcus Robinson. He could have got a first down.
He did.
He sailed it like he was sailing everything, which tells me that every time he put that foot down, he was getting shots of pain through his toe, up his foot, probably up his fucking leg, and it was affecting his throws.
Maybe even into his booty hole. I don't know.
Maybe, right? Yeah. Yes. Probably. And
sorry.
Special teams. Here's another interesting stat that I wanted to run by you.
Besides almost 200 return yards,
the average starting position for the opposing team on kickoffs is what was that? It's not the 35. I want to say it's somewhere around the 40, 41 yard line. They are dead last in the league.
Don't forget the penalty too yesterday.
Oh,
that killed them.
The 15-yarder? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. Chase Lucas, what are you doing?
And then he's talking on the sideline, like trying to make a justification. If I'm his teammate, I'm punching him.
It's like, bro, you barely get on the fucking field, and then you cost us the game. This is why I was saying. I said it during cover 3. I was like, I would not be surprised if this guy becomes a cut casualty. One, we've barely seen him on the field at all.
And he
does shit like this,
right? Yeah.
He does shit like this. It's like, but then you have to argue: should someone like him be cut, or should Kendrick Bourne be cut?
Oh,
they're not going to cut Bourne because Kyle loves him.
Splitting hairs on who sucks worse. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
But they're not going to cut him because Kyle loves him. Kyle loves Kendrick Bourne. That's like what's one of his boys.
It is.
So they won't cut him. We know that.
Yeah.
But special teams, Brant Boyer, you got to lock in, dude.
Yeah.
You were brought in here to change this fucking special teams
all
to
that
improve
brash, tough guy talk in the preseason and the offseason.
They brought in all these fucking guys to improve special teams.
And they're worse than ever.
And they're worse. And I said this during the game. Somewhere right now, Brian Schneider is laughing. And so is Jake Moody. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Yep.
Okay, real quick. Final score prediction for Thursday, since we're not going to see each other until Friday.
We both are going with 31-13 Rams.
31-13 Rams.
Niners get their doors blown in.
Jared Verse has like 3 sacks.
Yeah. I just don't think that. I just don't see it.
I don't see it.
Unless they somehow get some magic fairy dust on all of them and they're able to get healthy, which is impossible with this team. They built something on either like a radioactive power plant or there's like skeletons underneath the stadium. Like, I don't understand what's going on, but we will both be back Friday on the Cover 3 podcast. You can catch it on any of our channels. I think I'm hosting. Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Back to back, Monday and Friday.
Really negative stream, especially if
get ready, especially if they lose. We're going to go off.
I'm going nuclear, man. So be ready. All right, everybody, take care. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday evening or afternoon, and we'll talk to you guys, the two of us. We'll see you on Friday. Peace.